So this vlog is explaining why you shouldn't pet a service animal. So the first thing I want to say is that you should never distract a working dog of any kind. And a lot of people think this just means no petting, when it actually means a lot more than that. While it means no petting, it also means no talking to, calling out at, luring with, food or treats, no making direct eye contact. Overall, just no direct attempts to get the dog's attention. And a big misconception that people have is that they think when a service dog handler says, no, you can't pet my dog, or, I'm sorry, he's working, and things like that, we try to be polite. Sometimes we snap if people are really pushy and invasive about it. But for the most part, we try to be really polite. But a lot of people out there take it the wrong way. They think we're doing it to be rude or just because we're unsocial and mean people. And I guess, depends on the person. Some people might just be like that. And most of us really do have a legitimate reason as to why we ask that you don't distract or bother our service animals while they're working. The most important reason is because it can be dangerous to both the dog and the handler. If you, even if it's accidentally, distract the dog from being able to do his or her job, and the handler then gets either sick or injured, it is your fault. Whether you meant to or not, you will be held responsible for that. Although it may not look like the dog is working at the time, like right now, Bugsy is laying right in front of my feet. He may not look like he's working, but one of his jobs is medical alert, and he alerts to before I pass out or have a seizure. To do that, he has to be very alert and focused on me as a handler. So that's one thing, when you're out in public and you see a service dog team, it might look like the dog is just laying at the handler's feet while they really are doing their job. They have to be on call pretty much all the time. Depends on exactly what their job is, but they need to be able to be free to do that job. And if, strangers keep coming up and petting them or trying to play with them and do all these things that people often do, it distracts them and it makes them unable to do their job. Now, the second reason as to why we don't like it when people disrupt our dogs is also because we have lives. I mean, I know you think we're being rude to you as an individual, but if we were to stop and give in to every single individual that asks us if they can play with or pet our dog and stuff like that, we would not be able to live our lives. If I have to run into the store just to grab a gallon of milk, which, back when I was healthy, I could run in and do that in under 2 minutes easily. Nowadays, even if I do politely decline everybody's requests, it still takes me 20 minutes just to get in there, grab my milk, and get through the horde of people asking me all this stuff about me and my dog, and trying to play with him, and trying to pet him, and trying to call him out from under me. But if we stopped to give in to every single person's request, we wouldn't be able to live our lives. That's one thing you have to realize is we don't intend to be rude, but you also need to be open-minded and think about the fact that you're probably the 30th person that has asked us this in just the last hour. And while we try to be very calm and cool and collected, it gets old. We understand not everyone is rude. Some people are sincere and very genuine and nice. And sometimes if we have the time, we will say yes. We're not, it's not like we never say yes. But a lot of it depends on our situation, our location, our particular symptoms that day. It's just, I think I speak for most of us when I say that, if you are offended by, when we say, no, I'm sorry, ma'am, he's working. We are sorry. We don't mean for you to be offended by that. But we do ask that you please be a bit more open-minded as to why we're asking that, because, it's not always just that we're selfish or that we're mean or we're grumpy. Think about, it can be quite dangerous. I had a man, I think it was about my 3rd or 4th month in with Bugsy, and we were still figuring things out. He was still in training. I had a man in the middle of Walmart get down on all fours and try to play with Bugsy, and he missed an alert. And thankfully I didn't have to go to the ER, but I was just dead. I was a vegetable for 4 days at home. I couldn't even get out of bed. It was pretty bad. So understand that it really does mean a lot to us when you simply smile and go on your way, rather than, interrogating us or just inviting yourself up to our dog. If you absolutely feel the need that you have to approach us, please talk to us and not our dog. That's one thing we can't stand. Talk to us like we're a real human being. Don't talk to us about our disability or what our dog does for us. We don't mind talking to people, but we would like to talk to people about ordinary things. Talk to us about the weather. Talk to us about, I don't know, last week's homework assignment, something. Try not to focus 100% on our dog or our disability. But if you're a total stranger and you really absolutely feel like you have to go up to this person, please, please, please talk to the handler and not to the dog. That's one thing that we really get offended at, is when people walk up to us, they look us straight in the eye for like half a second and then look down and like have a conversation with our dog. And for those who, often ask, well, how should we behave around a service dog? I know a lot of people don't know what to do when they see a service dog. And the best thing to do is pretend that the dog isn't there at all. You don't have to treat the person like they're invisible, which sadly does happen quite a lot. We just ask that you sort of pretend as if our dog isn't there. Let our dog do the job that they have to do and treat us like a normal person, anybody else that you would see out in public or walking down the street. That makes our day. Some people might think, well, isn't it rude not to acknowledge the dog? And the answer to that is no, not at all. In fact, if you pretend as if our dog isn't there at all, it makes our day, especially when we notice. Sometimes you can tell when people, are trying really hard not to acknowledge the dog. Sometimes you can tell that they're making a direct effort to specifically not acknowledge that the dog is there. And that is amazing. Like, we will probably, on the inside at least, just want to hug you so hard. It's just the best thing. Just pretend like the dog isn't there, while also at the same time not ignoring us as a human being. That is the best thing to do when you see a service dog team. And I hope this explained part of why we don't like it when our dogs get distracted, because there are real reasons for it, and it can be very dangerous, not only for the handler, but for the dog as well. So please respect their wishes, because trust me, if they ask you not to disturb your dog, they're asking you for a real reason, not to just be a stuck-up jerk about it. Hi. Oh, I love you. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Oh. Hey. You're gonna fall, because I can't hold you on my right side. You know that. You're gonna fall off and die. I don't know if you can actually see him, but... Hey, buddy. Don't knock the camera over. Be careful. Be careful. There you go.